Hello everybody! We are very pleased to be here in Okinawa. Okinawa is an island at the south of Japan. And we are with Mr. Masa. Hello, Mr. Masa.
Bonjour.
And we are going to speak about entrepreneurship. So, Mr. Masa, I let you introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Masa. I'm an entrepreneur in residence in OIST. So I studied about building new startup ecosystem in OIST. And then, I'm running currently like startup school in OIST, also a startup program on OIST too. And then my background is actually a serial tech entrepreneur. I used to run my company in Silicon Valley in Tokyo. And then my last company is actually related to blockchain platform software and the BaaS product. So I ran my company for 4 years and raised 5.5 million USD from mainly Japanese venture capital, and also grew up team to up to 30 team member. And 2018, I sold this company to the SBI Holdings, which used to be a financial business arm of SoftBank. And then, after selling my company to those venture companies, I decided to move to Okinawa because I see the huge potential here, like people in Okinawa, also the combination with the OIST kind of resources. So that's why I'm kind of doing right now.
Okay, thank you very much. And what is your vision? What kind of product do you conduct here in Okinawa to push the innovation?
So especially the technology, we are focusing on so-called deep tech, and then mainly focus on like how we're going to build a sustainable, environmentally friendly and sustainable economy in Okinawa. That's what we're focusing on.
So you have a specific concept we discussed a little together, and could you introduce this concept?
Okay. So what I call this, how we're going to build a new type of economy here in Okinawa, especially in environment friendly, sustainable. I call it deep tech island. And then, why, I see that the next 10 or 20 years from now, people so seriously discussing about how we're going to achieve like economic sustainability, since United Nations, program like the SDGs. And then when I, deeply think about, how we're going to achieve the goal of SDGs, I think, economic independence will be the kind of key elements, and we're going to achieve to the next 10 or 20 years. Because the people now, why we are sometimes fighting each other, like trade war between China and the US, all related to the too much economic dependence on each other. So once we're gonna develop like an economic independence with the high technology in the island economy, we're gonna show them like a huge potential about the new type of economic system on a global basis, the next, the 21st century stuff. So that is why I seriously focus on about how we're gonna develop like the very, very environmentally friendly, startup ecosystem, industry, development stuff through the island economy here in Okinawa. And one of the advantages here in Okinawa is first of all the DIY culture in Okinawa. Since like Okinawa is very isolated from the mainland in Japan or mainland China, so people all the time thinking about develop anything by themselves. You're building a house, building any kind of services stuff by themselves too. So this culture is quite strong to achieve the deep tech island goal to develop the higher self-sustaining ratio. But also we need more high technology to build the chemistry here, and always have that kind of huge amount of amazing kind of resources here. So two combination will be very effective in chemistry here. That's what I believe in.
Okay. And to your opinion, could you explain to us why we see so few startups in Japan? We are going to find innovation, and we see that innovation is in the big companies. And what about the startup ecosystem in Japan?
I see. So one of the critical problems in the startup ecosystem in Japan, especially compared with the Silicon Valley or in China or something, is lack of diversity. Because typically Japanese people kind of very risk reverse culture, but they prefer the perfections and opportunities too. But people from America or India or Europe, some people very entrepreneurial background. So if we can bring those kind of diversity, startup ecosystem in Japan, they can be more revive again, like Asia or something. So that's my opinion about the problem in the Japanese startup ecosystem.
Thank you very much for your insights. So we can have a sum up. We can find two main ideas. First of all, here in Okinawa, you try to have a new concept, the deep tech island, that to become independent, because here there is a specific culture of doing yourself, do it yourself, the house or things, and you try to see how the digital and the do it yourself can match together to have this deep tech island concept and to have this autonomy. The second idea is about the startup ecosystem in Japan, and it's very interesting to see that there is not so much startup in Japan because of the difference of culture, because here we like the perfection, we like that things are doing very well, and it's a little different from experimentation or agility culture from all other ecosystems worldwide. So thank you very much for this insight, and we continue to go in Okinawa.